What's up, guys? Let's start with some lower body mobility. The first part of this is going to be just regular stretching. The second part of it, we're going to use a foam roller, and I'm going to go over some of my favorite foam roller exercises with you. All right, so what we'll do is let's start in a plank position. Okay, in this plank position, press your hips back toward the wall behind you, and we're just going to pedal your heels down to the ground. If you have to walk your hands back a little bit farther to actually get your heels flat, that's totally fine. Working through any tightness that you have in the back of the legs. Lift your sit bones up toward the ceiling. Then from here, you're going to step your right foot up toward your hand. Okay, so the back knee can either be straight. What you can also do is you can bend the knee, okay? So if it's too intense and you have to bend the knee, that's totally fine. So, in this first position, what I want you guys to do is just take a little twist and rotate up toward the ceiling. Pause and take 3 deep breaths here. So if that back leg is straight, keep it locked straight, press your hips down. If your left leg's behind you, squeeze your left butt cheek. That hand can go back down on the ground. Here, drop your knee down, point your toe behind you. Elbows go down onto the ground. Okay, so what you can do here is you can just rock your hips from side to side. If this is a little bit too intense for you, your other alternative is to actually go and use a chair. Bring your hands up a little bit higher so it's a little bit less intense. Okay, otherwise you can just stay on your hands. Then, let's go. Here, curl the toes back behind you. And what I want you to do is I want you to straighten that front leg. So now I'm pressing my hips back. Put a pillow underneath your knee if you have to. And I want you to just point the toe up. Flex the toe back. Okay, so if you have knee pain and you have to sit up a little bit higher, that's fine. Just lean forward a little bit more. Okay, with that lean forward, your back is flat. Point and flex. Okay, if you can and you want to, you can sit all the way back down, point, and flex. This one you'll feel a shift in that muscle tissue on the back of the leg. Come on up from there. Okay, so here what we're going to do is bring the hands down onto the inside of the foot. The right foot is going to go out to the side. So that toe is pressing straight down into the ground. My left toe curls underneath my butt. From here, lock the knee straight on your right side. Press your hips back. Little mini child's pose, but with like a half child's pose, sitting on a curled toe. Come back up from that. And going back again. Press your hips back. Feel that stretch. Breathe. Coming up from there. One more time. Good, and release, come on up. Okay, so take the knees together again. I want you to step the left foot up to the outside of the hand, and we're going to start with that first lunge that we did earlier. So, option here, bend the knee or straighten the leg. Let's take a twist, reach up, 3 deep breaths, breathe. If your right leg's behind you, squeeze your right butt cheek, press the hips down toward the ground, try to relax in it. Other options here, put your elbows on a chair or a sofa. Awesome, hand goes back down to the ground. From here, knee goes down, point the toe. Elbows can go down onto the ground, and we'll just do a slight rock, bringing the hips from one side to the other. When you do this, gang, keep that front foot flat. Okay? Again, if it's too intense, just take your hands up a little bit higher. That's totally fine. And then come on up from there. And here what I want to do is I want to go press back into your hammy stretch. Toe can curl under, sit up higher if you have to, and we're going to point and flex the toe. I like to curl my toe under because I feel that stretch in that icky fascia. It's that connective tissue that runs on the back of the foot, okay? Mine is very, very tight, especially if you've been doing a lot of jumping or running. It gets pretty tight. And come on up from there. I'm going to show you guys this one from the front. So we're in that 4-point position. Kick the leg out to the side. You're knifing the foot into the side of the ground. Hands can walk out a little bit. Press your bum back. And then come up from there, okay? Option here, point the toe behind you, or you can curl the toes underneath. Feel that stretch. Lock that opposite leg straight. Nice, guys. And release from there. Okay. So here what I want to do. Let's go through a little side body stretch. I know it's not lower body. That's a nice little stretch to the side body. So you're going to take a child's pose. If you have to, come up here. That's totally fine. Okay. If you can, get your bum towards your knees. Your bum's towards your feet, I should say. Do that. Otherwise, we're in this child's pose. Walk your hands to the right. Left hand over your right hand, okay? So I'm doing this side body, lean to the right. I should feel a stretch through my left side. Take 3 breaths into your armpit here, okay? So reach your fingertips away from you. Breathe in, pause, and then exhale. And let's walk it over to the other side. Right hand over left hand. Side body stretch. Press your hips back onto your heels. Reach your fingertips so we're getting a nice stretch through the whole side body. And guys, I just need the hand to come to the outside of the shoulder, okay? It doesn't need to be very extreme. It's just a slight deviation from your normal. And release from there, okay? Here, I got one more stretch for you, okay? Let's do what I call a pinwheel stretch. So, ideally your legs are 90. If this is too intense and you don't have this mobility, take your foot closer to you for both. Okay, that's going to make it a little bit easier. All right? Here, let's start by leaning over the front foot. If I don't feel the stretch, I'm going to walk my foot away from me. Okay? And you're just going to breathe and hang out here. This one will be a nice little stretch through your butt. And come on up from there. Take a lean back now, okay? Pretend you're on a beach. Just in the sun, chilling out, okay? So here you're leaning back. Should feel a stretch maybe through the back of this hip. Depending on how far away this foot is from you, you might feel it going down the side of the thigh, okay? Hanging out here. The goal in this exercise is to get your hip to sit down onto the ground while this knee is pressing down into the ground. That's the challenging part with this one. The other variation, if you can't do this exercise, is to go laying on your side and just hold here. Okay, that's the other variation. Let's switch and do the other side. With that lean forward over the front leg, let's take 3 deep breaths, breathing in. Stretching is awesome, but if you don't breathe, it's useless, okay? So if the stretch is too intense for you and you're not breathing and it's not releasing, it's because you're forcing it too much. So take it back a little bit and just breathe. Let's lean. And release from there. Okay, so for this portion, we're going to pull out the old foam roller that everybody loves to hate. The key with foam rolling, let's start with your calves. Key with foam rolling is find any spots that are sticky and hang out there. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to find any part in your calf that feels tender. Okay, then I want you to take that piece of calf and you're going to point and flex your toe. Okay. So a couple of ways you can make this easier is don't press down as much, okay? To make this harder, cross the ankle over so you get the weight of the other leg as you point and flex, okay? And once that starts to release, what you can do is move so you find a different spot and do the same thing, okay? Let's switch and go other leg. So find that sticky spot on your right leg, and we're going to do that same thing, point and flex. Nice, and when you point and flex the foot, see if you can actually move the foot through its range of motion, okay? So curl the toes under, round the foot, then let the toe come back and bring it through like that, okay? And then from here, let's put both calves onto your foam roller. To make this one more intense, you'll lift your butt up off the ground, okay? Otherwise, just stay right there. And we're rolling up and down the muscle belly, toes pointing up toward the ceiling. And then let's have you point your toes in toward each other. Just breathe here. And then we're going to point the toes out to the side, okay? For me, my calves are tighter toward my ankles. If your calves are tighter higher up, you can do the same thing, but just higher up. Good. If you can't lift yourself up and do this, you can also just bend the knees and straighten the legs. From here, let's hit some IT band, okay? So IT band's that muscle connective tissue on the side of your leg. What you're going to do is you're going to cross your left leg over your right leg. Okay, so you're using your hands on the ground to support yourself. And just start with this one. Super slow breathing. You're using that opposite leg to lift yourself up. Okay, if you can handle the intensity, then you can obviously drop yourself down onto the roller a little bit more. So going up the length of the muscle. This one sits directly on the side of your thigh, okay? So it goes from your hip bone all the way down to your knee. If you find any sticky spots there, just breathe. And release from there. Let's go from this one right onto your hip. So you're on your right butt cheek. So we go from your right IT band to your right butt cheek. Cross the right ankle over the left knee, and you're going to roll back and forth on the meaty part of your butt. The key with this exercise when you're rolling on your butt is you actually have to go the full length of the muscle. So your glutes actually go all the way to the top of your hip bone. A lot of times people don't roll high enough with this one. They stop a little shy, okay? Especially if you've been feeling that tightness around your belt line. Make sure for this exercise that you are going the full length of your muscle. And then let's straighten the leg out and do the same thing. Going down, coming up, breathing. Stop anywhere it feels tight, move around a little bit, and release. Let's do the other side. So starting with that IT band again. This is so gross. And you guys just might feel like one side's tighter than the other, which is totally fine, totally normal. For me, it's usually my left side. For some reason, it's always my more jacked up side. And just make sure you're breathing here. So when you're breathing in through your belly, breathing in through your side body. So you're right on the side of your thigh on your IT band. If this is too intense with a foam roller, your other alternative is to take a rolling pin and do it where you're rolling the rolling pin up and down the side of your thigh while you're sitting. That helps to make it a little friendlier. And then sit on your roller. Let's go left ankle over right knee. Lean toward your right butt cheek, or your left butt cheek, I should say. So when the left knee is crossed over, you're leaning onto the left side. Nice. And then straighten the leg out. Rolling back and forth all the way up to the top of the muscle. Going back down all the way to your sit bone, okay, guys? Breathing. Whew. It's a good one. All right, here I got one last one for you. This one is maybe the most painful of all of them. It is rolling our quads. Okay, when it comes to rolling our quads, stay calm. It's like a long front plank hold. You'll be fine. You're strong enough. If anything, these muscles get very tight. So what we're doing is we're going to roll up and down the length of the muscle. We'll start at the bottom part, right above your knees, going from your knees up towards your middle thigh. And then we're going to hit the top part, going from the middle part of your thigh and up. Okay? With this one, start easy. If you get really intense, just stay calm, okay? Let's start with your toes pointing away from you. So you're pointing your toes toward the wall, extending back, and we're just rolling from your knees up to the middle part of your thighs, okay? So here you're literally in a front plank and you're rolling back and forth, all right? If you feel any tightness that's uncomfortable, pause, breathe, okay? From here, I want you to point your toes out toward the side. So you're going with duck feet, little ballerina toes that point out. Oh, this is so gross. Make sure you breathe. Breathing is very important. And then I want you to take your toes and you're going to touch your toes together, drop your heels out to the side. Okay, this is also going to hit some IT band that we were rolling on before. And here what I want you to do is I want you to bend the knees, drop the feet out to the side. It's another fun little variation I have for you. Okay, so with the knees bent, now you're going to cross your ankles. Okay, cross your feet. You can lock your feet together and do the exact same thing. Just going from the top of the knee to the middle part of the thigh. Okay, so here let's go from the middle part of the thigh all the way up to your hip. So you might have to back yourself up on the roller. Breathe. And from here, let's point the toes. The feet go and drop out to the side. Rolling back. And then last part here is legs go straight. Rolling the length of the muscle. Ooh, okay, so big things with foam rolling. Always make sure you breathe. Okay, this is a nice little shin rollout, by the way. Keys with foam rolling, make sure you breathe. If you have any spots that are super tense, super tight, just breathe, hang out, okay? You don't have to be on a foam roller and move. You can just hang, okay? The other thing is when you're doing it, take sections of the muscle and go like 10 passes or so, down and up, 10-ish times, okay? And if there's something that you're rolling that's really intense and it's not getting better, consider seeing a physio, okay, to get more treatment on it if you feel like that's something you need. All right, that is your lower body foam roller and mobility. Enjoy, guys.